What is going on, guys? Profitably is here, founder and creator of Bitcoin's post-swap system. Happy Sunday. This is the beginning of new month of December, and today in Crypto Show I want to discuss Bitcoin and technical analysis and where we are going. Can Bitcoin bounce up to $5,000 soon? What we are seeing on the chart, and discuss some of the news that are happening in the world of cryptocurrencies. So let's get this started, guys. We've had a terrible month of November. Probably something that was not expected by the majority of people, because all Novembers in the last several years for Bitcoin were very bullish, and this time around we had very bad months for Bitcoin and the entire crypto market cap that fell from 210 billion to 120 billion. Now we rebounded a little bit to 135 billion dollars. So what is in store for crypto? Of course, the mainstream media, everybody is jumping on, hey, Bitcoin is dying, it's going to zero or whatever, you know, and you gotta look at a bigger picture. You gotta see the forest and not the trees, and that's what I want to share with you and remind you and discuss with you today as well, so you see and don't get caught up in the short-term trends, and look at the more macro trends and what is going on really behind the scenes. So let's start with discussing Bitcoin. We are up 4.5% over the last 24 hours. As it affects, you know, Bitcoin still pretty much is dominance of 53.6%. So whatever Bitcoin is doing is going to get its effect on all the other cryptocurrencies. Now, looking at the 4-hour chart for Bitcoin, we are seeing some interesting patterns forming for Bitcoin. So right now, after we slumped at about $3,500, we've been rising and right there at 4,300 we hit resistance. We couldn't break this level of $4,300 and started this move back down all the way to 3,800 again, and then we jump back from here. So we see several things here going on right now. First of all, this area over here, this is an area of resistance, okay, 4,300. Until we are breaking this area, we're still in a bearish territory, and still yet we're not forming this, you know, V shape where we recovered very sharply. No, we're kind of consolidating. So the cards right now are not as clear as to what the next action, although it is more slightly biased to the bullish side right now, as we are forming higher lows for Bitcoin. You know, this was a low right there, and now we formed over here a higher low. All right, so this is a bullish sign. This is a bullish forming. You know, so what I like to see for the bulls is we are going to consolidate here a little bit and then jump right there at 4,500. Now, if we are going to break this level of 4,500, then the next stop we can really jump to 5,000, because there was not much right here in this area of 5,000, but it was free falling as a knife. If we are going to break this level of 4,500, then we're going to be definitely going to $5,000 as well. On the other side, if we fail to break this point over here, 4,350, and we kind of have this, we will close right here at the lower high over there, so we might go like a double top over here, 1, 2, and then we can slide back down. So it's still possible, of course, that we go and test even lowers for Bitcoin right there. Right now, what I'm seeing is more bullish sentiment. So I'm more bullish, and I have a bullish long position. Of course, we are updating our crypto trading millionaires with every single trade that we make for the hedge fund. You know, every single day, whatever we are doing, we are transparently sharing our entry points, our exit points, all of that. So right now, like I said, we are more bullish than bearish, but anything can happen. That's why you want to trade very carefully and put stop losses in place. So what we are seeing on the news, why Bitcoin is going to be just fine. Okay, there's very many reasons why this is a short-term dump for Bitcoin, and why we're going to recover. We are seeing some big players coming on. You know, I've been talking about Backed for a very long time, a platform for institutional investors that are going to be launched on January 24th. And when asked about if the price is important, the CEO of Backed said absolutely not. It's important to compensate for the missing infrastructure elements and unimplemented application scenarios, which will positively affect the development of the industry. We have Fidelity Investments with $2.1 trillion launching its own cryptocurrency investment platform. And according to its CEO, they're actively involved in the development of cryptocurrency related products and instruments, especially for storing large volume of assets like custody solutions and stuff like that. So that's another big bullish news. We are seeing it regarding the ETF and SEC, right? We still have this Bitcoin ETF from SolidX and Group, and Van Eck is kind of in the air, and we'll have a definite statement on that about March 2019. And according to the CEO of Van Eck, he is stating that the biggest underappreciated scaling platform for Bitcoin is the financial system. It's early days, but market structure developments are coming along nicely. The future is bright for cryptocurrencies. So he's saying that there's been a very good advancement when it comes to getting approved for the ETF. So I'm positive it's going to be approved. We have Hester Pierce as well from the SEC representative, believes the agency should be more loyal to Bitcoin ETF, and that of course by many analysts all agree. If Bitcoin ETF will get approved, it will be one of the major catalysts for Bitcoin shooting back up. We also have Bitcoin futures from the NASDAQ that are going to be launched in the first quarter of 2019. So there's a new product, will be in the form of version 2.0 of regulated futures contracts. We have services from large banks that are also saying, you know, like Morgan Stanley is preparing to launch swaps for the first cryptocurrency. They already has the technology to launch the new service and is now studying the level of demand among its large customers. So that will, and Sonny Singh said it will catalyze Bitcoin, and again will jump into the $15,000 to $20,000 next year. Regulation and infrastructure is also coming into place. Intergovernmental level at the G20 summit that took place recently. So overall, there's a lot of things that are coming, and the billionaire Novogratz, Mike Novogratz, is also saying lots of things are coming in crypto in 2019 and 2020. He said, I fundamentally think you're going to see big adoption in 2019, 2020, lots of items in the digital world. The e-gaming space are low value items, so I think people will be more comfortable participating in blockchain. We're making big investments in this area. And the CEO of Morgan Creek said Bitcoin will 20x over the next decade. Mark Yusko, his name. So he's a long-term bull, and buying today is not a bad idea. So 20x upside in BTC possible over the next decade. We are seeing more adoption, like in the state of Ohio. Cryptocurrency is accepted as a form of tax payment, so that's very good. And looking at the context, guys, you know, looking at the past crashes, when we've seen 83%, 87%, we've always recovered to the highest top for Bitcoin. It took some time, you know, 3.3 years here for the new all-time high, 1.6 years here, and 7 months over here. So how many months we're going to have until the new all-time high? It's in the questions. But looking at the perspective, for Bitcoin, you know, here's a couple of factors that you need to remember. The dot-com bubble, if you compare Bitcoin, and a lot of people said Bitcoin is a bubble. If you compare that to what happened 20 years ago with dot-com bubble, $6.7 trillion versus crypto 125 billion. We're still very, very small. It's like 1.5% of that bubble that happened like 20 years ago. So you know, you need to see things in perspective. We're still very, very, very early in the game of crypto. Okay, very early in the game of crypto, and it's just a matter of time. The adoption is getting higher. You know, if you take a look at several parameters, for example, the hash rate, even though it's dropped a little bit because of the mining for some firms were not profitable at these price points, overall we've been growing 2018 a lot in mining hash rate. More hardware was purchased in 2018. There is exponentially higher contest and exponentially higher competition amongst the miners in 2018. So that should tell you something, guys. You know, on a macro trend, we are definitely have advanced in 2018. There's more searches for Bitcoin in 2018 than it was ever has, and we are currently moving 25% of Visa's amount of processing. So if Visa is handling about $30 billion a day, we are handling 25% of all those processing. Now, we are still slow from the transactions per second in that, but the amount of money, the amount of value that is being transferred is already looking to overtake Visa very, very soon. Also need to remember about the countries, right? Look at 2013, how much it jumped, the Bitcoin price jumped when China got involved more heavily over this period of time. We're still like user adoption, everything, it's still in the beginning, guys. You know, we've seen how the wallets in the last 2 years basically tripled on Bitcoin.com, the amount of wallets, how many new accounts are being created for Bitcoin. So overall, this industry is definitely growing. So looking at the short term, guys, again, I want to just reiterate what I just said. Right now, we need to see how this is going to close. If we're going to consolidate right here, then chances are we're going to shoot right there into $4,500 area. And if not, if we're going to top right there, then we might shoot back down. So the chances are mostly we are more bullish than bearish right now after this formation over the weekend, and we do have long positions right now. So keep in mind that December, the next months, we're already up. If we're looking at the monthly range, we've had a terrible fall over here for Bitcoin in the months of November, but here we go in December. So let's see how this month is going to turn out for Bitcoin. We will see a comeback. If we're going to get up of 4,500, we'll shoot all the way to $5,000 and retest these areas again. Now, we keep you updated. If you're part of Crypto Trading Millionaires, we keep you updated about every single trade that we make. If you're not part of that, you're welcome to become a member of Crypto Trading Millionaires and learn how to trade A to Z with all the signals, and participate in our hedge fund where we are trading for you and update you transparently about our moves in this crypto space with a veteran trader of 15 years of experience. I'm today, later in the evening, I'm going to be headed back to not headed back, I'm traveling to United States, to Florida, to the state of Florida. I'm going to be attending a seminar by Tony Robbins, Date with Destiny. So I'm not going to be as active over the next several weeks, the next 2 weeks in this group, meaning doing live trainings, because it will be a very intensive morning to evening seminar. But I'll try my best to keep you updated. And of course, we do run our hedge fund inside Bitcoin's Walls Club, and we'll keep you updated every single day. So with that being said, guys, I hope you have a fantastic week, and I'm going to see you in the next live episode.